Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. Please enjoy this video on the Political Voices Network.
You know, it's so interesting watching the coverage of it, Glenn, that I have said I'm enjoying every second of this humiliation because this is justice. This is what it looks like. This is in a country where no one is actually above the law, where, we are a country of laws, not men. And yet it is at the same time hugely sad and humiliating for the United States of America that we're watching this for the fourth time, isn't it?
It is. But you know what I was heartened to see? You know, you saw that big motorcade, all the federal protection he had.
Yeah.
And then once he got to the Fulton County jailhouse doors, the state authorities said, y'all feds can just leave your fancy blue lights outside. We got it from here.
Yeah.
And then a state process kicked in, Steph, the kind of state process that you and I and everybody else would be subjected to if we were charged with RICO under Georgia state law. And I was just glad to see somebody run this man through the normal process that we are all subject to for the first time. New York didn't do it, and the feds didn't do it when they arrested and booked Donald Trump. So I was happy to see that.
Yeah, exactly. I have to say it was a good day for justice because the other thing is, wow, Fani Willis called Chesebro's bluff. I mean, you know, it's interesting because he obviously asked for, she actually called for even an earlier date in October. And I know some people on Twitter were like, oh, is she ready? And I know, you know, your friend Joyce Vance said she wouldn't have done this if she wasn't ready. So maybe all of us that were Veruca assaulting for justice, you know, the reason it took this long to charge is because she's ready to go, it looks like.
Yeah, the Chesebro thing is important for a number of reasons. You know, Chesebro, who was the architect of the fake elector scheme designed to rob us of the full value of our vote, demanded a speedy trial. Fani Willis said, I got your speedy trial right here, October 23rd. And she also said, I'm ready to go against all 19 defendants on October 23rd. Now, Judge McAfee said, well, let's just start with Kenneth Chesebro because he's the one thus far who has made a speedy trial demand. So he set that trial date, October 23rd, but only for Chesebro. So I think we can conclude the cheese stands alone at this point. But here's the thing, Steph. I want to know why he demanded a speedy trial. There are a couple of reasons. I've had defendants demand speedy trials. One, because they just hate living with felony charges over their heads. They want to get it over with. Two, they believe they have a viable defense and they want to get into court and prove it up. But I think there's something else going on here. I think they may have put him up as the sacrificial lamb. They said, look, Cheese, you go to trial first. We will sit in the courtroom and preview all of Fani Willis's evidence so we will be better prepared to go to trial when we go to trial second or third.
He's the sacrificial lamb. Yeah, you had tweeted what are the pros and cons of being the first co-defendant to go to trial in a large RICO conspiracy. I guess that you just kind of laid it out, that you know, he's kind of walking in blind, right? But then he's, like as I say, sort of a sacrificial legal lamb, right?
Yeah, and think about it. And I've had this happen. We had a big RICO case where we had to split it up into 3 trials. Guess what? Trial 1, all of the defense attorneys who knew they'd be going to trial in batch 2 and batch 3 sat in court every minute of every day. They ordered every witness transcript, and then they used those transcripts to cross-examine the witnesses in the future. They said, you said it differently 6 months ago when you testified. Were you lying then or are you lying now? That's an objectionable question, but you kind of get the picture. The future defendants are so much better prepared to go to trial if they can see the trial play out once before they ever have to sit at defense counsel table.
We have that soundbite. What is that from a movie, what you just quoted? I think it was. Are you lying now or are you lying then? It's echoing. Is it a mobster movie? Maybe. Are you a complete and total liar? Chris will find it. Okay. Here's one analysis. I know Midas Touch saying he, tried to call Fani Willis's bluff. Big mistake. Chesebro made a speedy trial demand. Blah blah blah. If he was trying to call Willis's bluff that she somehow wasn't prepared for trial, that was a bad move, a very bad move. Less than a day after the speedy trial, she said she's ready to go. So October 23rd, she had previously requested the trial for other co-defendants take place March 4th. But they're saying she would probably be delighted to take any other criminal defendant to trial sooner. All this being said, what do you think is going to happen on the time frame for all this?
So I think if a couple of things. One, if other defendants demand their speedy trial, then Judge McAfee will say, that's great. We already have an October 23rd trial date, so let's pack in as many defendants as want a speedy trial as we can. So that's one thing that might happen. The other thing that might happen is once Cheesebro, now that Fani Willis has called his bluff, gets all of the discovery, what's he going to say? Oh my goodness, there's so much here. I think I want to withdraw my request for a speedy trial and put my trial off in the future. So, this could break any number of ways unless it's an orchestration and Trump and company want the cheese to go first so they can preview the evidence.
Can I say Allison Gill one Twitter on his mugshot? She said, "Say cheese, bro." Yeah, we may get to hear this in his trial.
The question is, were you lying then? Are you lying now? Or are you not, in fact, a chronic and habitual liar?
Okay. I love dramatic courtroom. Is that how you courtroom movies? Is that why you became a lawyer? You wanted to be that guy?
Yeah.
It is fun. It's too much fun being able to try criminal cases. It was hard to walk away after 30 years.
Yeah.
So you also tweeted Trump's Mar-a-Lago IT director gets out from under a MAGA lawyer, gets a conflict-free lawyer, and immediately flips against Trump. You're quoted in a piece in Newsweek about this. Can you explain to us, Glenn, how, as lay people, maybe this is a dumb question, I don't understand why it's legal for someone to pay your lawyer's fees that you are testifying. If you could testify against, or what, it just seems like clearly our pattern, whether it's Cassidy Hutchinson or this guy, if Trump pays your lawyer, you're going to say what Trump wants you to say, right?
It feels dirty and sleazy and ugly, but it's not illegal. Now, the reason we allow it is, for example, if you're an employee of a corporation and the corporation is being investigated, your employment contract might say, as part of the benefits, we will provide a lawyer to you in the event the corporation is being investigated and you need a lawyer. I understand all that, but this is just straight up dirty when you have MAGA lawyers representing witnesses who could flip against Donald Trump and incriminate him, and they don't. Instead, they go into the grand jury and they lie to protect Donald Trump. But that's why Chief Judge Boasberg said no. He's getting conflict-free lawyer, the Mar-a-Lago IT director. And the minute he did, he retracted his lies, he told the truth, and he implicated them. This is Trump world crumbling.
Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirschner wherever you generally get your podcasts.